here we're going to be covering the taste sensations. So now let's talk about our taste receptors. So basically we have these structures that are called papillae. These papillae, they come in three different forms. We have what we call the circumvallate, the fungiform, and the filiform. The circumvallate is the biggest one of them all. You can see how these little yellow things that stick out are going to form what we call the taste buds. So these little yellow things over here that are sticking out are the taste buds. If we have a closer look at the taste bud down here, this figure is a little bit misleading because they show your transitional cells in yellow and your pink cells as being your actually gustatory cells. So the pink ones are going to be the ones that are your receptors. So I feel like this figure is a little bit confusing. From these pink cells, which we call them gustatory cells, these are going to be your receptors. So each of these gustatory cells, they're going to have a slender microvilli at the end. And you can see it right over here. So these are your microvilli, actually, on the other side. So these microvilli over here, these microvilli are going to be present on an opening, which we call a taste pore. Okay, so each of these taste buds are going to have a taste pore, which is an opening. So when you chew on something, then this opening sort of receives whatever substance it is that you chewed on. And these microvilli are here to do what? So microvilli are here to increase the surface area. And by increasing the surface area, it allows the substance to be detected by your gustatory cells. Now from your gustatory cells, it's going to leave through these nerves, which is going to take that information all the way to the brain to be interpreted. Now what differentiates the different types of sensation is going to be areas of our tongue. So basically we have four different main types of gustatory sensations that we can feel. We have what we call the sour, the bitter, the salty, and the sweet. These are the most common ones that were discovered a while ago. Initially they thought that specific areas of your tongue were able to feel a little bit more of each of these specific gustatory sensations, but actually now they think that your whole tongue is able to feel all of these different types of tastes. Now we have two that are a little bit different that have specialized location. So your umami, which means delicious in Japanese, basically is going to be located in this area back here. And it actually detects things like your chicken broth and your beef broth. It's made up of glutamate, especially your monosodium glutamate. So when you go to a restaurant and you ask your food with no MSG, you're basically cutting out this stimulation of your umami taste. Why would you want to do that? Well, you probably just want to do it because MSG has been linked to cause cancer. And so that's why when you usually go to a restaurant and you ask for your food with no MSG, is because you want to try to avoid to get cancer, which sort of makes sense, right? However, restaurants do like to put this on their food because they want to stimulate the umami, which means delicious. So when you go to a restaurant and you find the food delicious, you always want to go back, right? So that's why restaurants do use MSG. So that's what they're trying to stimulate. With regards to water receptors, there was a lot of controversy initially because lots of people think that water doesn't have taste, but recently they found that there are specific receptors for water that are located especially behind your tongue down on your pharynx. Okay, so those of you that always thought that water has a taste, you're probably right. Of course, taste preference varies from individual to individual, is the same thing as smell, so it's hard for you to sort of have a specific pattern of taste. One thing that I think it's important to phrase is that the amount of these sources, so a sour taste or a bitter taste or salty or sweet, it sort of varies from person to person. So some individuals might be more sensitive to sweet, or some individuals might be more sensitive to sour. However, bitter is always sensitive to everybody, basically because a lot of the poisons that are ingested, they have a bitter taste, and this is just a protective tool that our body uses, especially for other types of animals. When they eat something that is very bitter, they want to get away from it. So you don't need a lot of the bitter taste to actually feel that sensation and not want to have it again. Okay. Now when we talk about pathway, basically here's what we have. So at the end it's going to go to what we call gustatory cortex, but you can see that it leaves your tongue. It's going to go through your glossopharyngeal nerve, which is your cranial nerve number 9. It's also going to go through your vagus nerve, which is your cranial nerve number 10, and through your facial nerve, which is your cranial nerve number 7. All of them are going to come together to this nucleus, which we call a nucleus solitarius, which you don't have to know. But at the end, it's going to come to your thalamic nucleus in your thalamus, and then from here go to your gustatory cortex. So like I said on the previous part that we were talking about in terms of olfactory, the olfactory does not pass through the thalamus, and it's the only one. But now that we're talking about taste, you can see how it will pass through your thalamus before it reaches your cerebral cortex. Okay, so you should know the nerves that are stimulated when you have the sensation of taste, and you should know that it passes through your thalamus before it reaches the cortex.